What's up everyone, it's Iceman Oz, aka Jay, and in this video I've got a discussion on Battlefield 1, some of the things that I haven't really covered yet, and I want to go a little bit more in depth into the thoughts of the community and a bunch of different topics. So if you're interested in that, sit back, relax, get your popcorn, and enjoy the show. Alongside me I've got Huntar the Great, my good buddy, and we're gonna chat for a bit. What's up, man?
Hey, not much, man. I'm just chilling, hanging out. It's good to be here with you, though.
Well, it's good to have you here. So we've got a list of things we're going to be talking about. First of all, I want to talk about the fans' reaction to Battlefield 1. So it is clear that everyone loves it. I mean, it was a massive success, and as time goes on, I can only see it becoming more of a success if the launch is good and everything comes out right. What do you think about the way fans responded to this, and in contrast, the opponent's Call of Duty just getting absolutely wrecked, and that is mainly because of the Battlefield 1 trailer itself?
Well, honestly, I expected it. I figured they were going to do a World War I or World War II release, and I did expect the fans to love it, because for months, longer than that, since Battlefield 4 came out, people have been wanting to go back to a World War type scenario. So the reaction was really expected. But, you know, what I did notice is there are a big group of people who don't want the travel back in time, and they would rather it be in the future. But of course, the majority definitely is wanting the past. And Call of Duty, there's not much to say except they messed up.
They messed up real bad, man. Like, that just goes to show if you don't listen to your community, you're in trouble. But now, something I did want to talk about was the future of Battlefield. So now that we know that we're going to get a World War I Battlefield game, what does this mean for the upcoming titles and the DLC? Are we going to get just more World War I based DLC? I mean, it makes sense, right? What are your thoughts on this so far, and what we're really going to be seeing in the future from the franchise? Because World War I, like we said, is like what everyone pretty much wanted. Like, they wanted to scale it back, and this is a part of that scaling back. So what can they do to top it from here?
That's a good question. I've been wondering this myself since we've already gone back. We're going up. They haven't really done the future since, of course, you know, the old Battlefield game that was in the future, 2142. So that leaves a big question: is what are they going to do from now on? Of course, for the DLC, I can just imagine, you know, more battle maps from previous World War I battles that took place, you know. But what does this leave for the next Battlefield coming out? Are they going to move it up to World War II, or are they going to jump to the future again?
I don't think they'll jump to the future. I mean, why would they? They see what happened to COD. I mean, unless they want to shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they did try and experiment it with the Final Stand. Not the final. Yeah, it's Final Stand DLC for Battlefield 4. Yeah, in the Final Stand DLC, they got elements that could be seen as futuristic, right? They got the Rorsch gun, the X1 railgun. I mean, they had a couple of interesting things like that, so they were definitely experimenting with it, DICE LA, but I don't think DICE Sweden will base their game in the future. I mean, lately it's just been modern, and this is the first time on the new gen that we're actually going back to World War I.
So that begs the question, what do you think they're going to do in the next Battlefield game that releases?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think that World War II seems the most likely bet, just as a step forward, especially in terms of story. You can transition World War I into World War II, and it just makes sense from that point of view. I'm not sure what they'd call it, though, as a title. Maybe Battlefield 5. Yeah. I'd presume so, because I don't know, because they called this one Battlefield 1, and we always thought it was going to be Battlefield 5, but who knows? But my presumption is that it's going to be World War II. So
I can see that. Well, okay, so you know how after Battlefield 4 they released Hardline?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do something similar to that after Battlefield 1? Instead of going straight to the sequel, they're going to do another add-on, like in a random thing, or what?
Like a random game, like Visceral making another game, like in between, like next year.
Yeah.
I've never thought. Well, it's possible. However, like, Hardline did well sales-wise, but it hasn't really maintained in terms of popularity. So, I mean, if they think they can get a lot of sales off Visceral's version of the game. I'm sure that they will make one. The question is, will a Battlefront be made in that year? Because EA want to have annual first-person shooter releases, so it does add up to me that there could be a Battlefield 5 made by Visceral, or maybe a Hardline 2, but I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know, I think Hardline's
I don't know
alright,
if they'll be going that far. What
Probably
about a Bad Company 3?
Bad Company, that'd be nice. I think it would do amazing sales-wise, just based off the name alone. And it could work in terms of that World War theme as well. It's very likely. It depends if DICE Sweden want to give the reins to Visceral on that name, because maybe DICE Sweden or DICE LA want to maybe work on it themselves. I think that's what it really comes down to.
I can see that. See, I don't know, because if they're listening to the fans now to go back to World War One, what's to stop them from keep listening to the fans after watching what happened to Call of Duty? So who's to say that they're not going to keep going with the fans and just going to go with, you know, the group that say, hey, I want Bad Company 3, so that they could be like, oh, okay, let's do Bad Company 3.
Right. No, for sure. Alright, so next up is game modes regarding Battlefield 1. So Conquest and Rush, they're going to be staples of this game. We don't know exactly how they will work at this point in time, but I don't see them being too far different from what they were traditionally. I think it's really good that they do hang on to a lot of core game modes. I want to see emphasis on squad deathmatch. I'm not entirely sure, someone can correct me in the comment section below if there will be squad deathmatch. I'm almost certain there will be, because we've seen it in Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. It would only make sense that they continue on with Battlefield 1. In my opinion, Squad Deathmatch is one of the better modes with my experiences in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. I thought they know how to do Squad Deathmatch really well, because it emphasizes teamwork, especially with Battlefield 3, because you'd have like one tank on the map and you'd all fight for that tank, so you had to learn where the tank would spawn. You know, it's a meta within the game itself, which I think is really nice, and I'd love to see that return. Conquest is, like I said, it's going to be, you know, that traditional mode that is always a front runner in Battlefield games, right? Like, what is Battlefield without Conquest? That is Battlefield, right?
Yeah, okay, so that's a good, that's very good right there. I was going to bring up Squad Deathmatch if you think they're going to bring it back, and I'm sure they will. I don't see why they wouldn't, because, I mean, we loved playing it back in the day, right?
Yep, oh yeah, it was over, like, we would destroy people, and I don't say that arrogantly, like, you know, there were times where I was pretty bad at Battlefield, but, like, Squad Deathmatch, if you just practice that every day and have a good squad with you, it's a good time. So, Battlefield 1, I'm looking forward to that.
It's a lot better than... Yeah, it's a lot better than Team Deathmatch, in my opinion. Team Deathmatch gets too clustered with, like, not enough teamwork, because teammates are like, oh, you know, there's a teammate dead right there, but I have 6 more right behind me. With Squad Deathmatch, you really don't have the extra teammates, so you have to make sure that you keep yours alive.
Right, and that puts extra reliance on your team, and normally, obviously, the better squad will win in the end, so it's more assured of, more based on skill rather than who can spam shit the most, you know?
Didn't Battlefield 4 have, what was it, Squad Rush or something like that?
I believe so, yeah. I didn't really play it at all.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really played it, so I'm not sure if that'll be making a comeback.
There's like 3 people who played it.
Yeah,
There's like,
to be honest.
probably a couple of the devs or something. No, I don't know.
What about, Capture the Flag?
Capture the Flag. I mean, you know, it's funny with Capture the Flag because in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, they weren't in the game on launch. I wonder if they'll consider putting in Capture the Flag as like a core game mode. I wonder why they haven't done it already, to be honest.
I really love Capture the Flag in Battlefield. I never liked it in other series like Call of Duty. I didn't like it much there, but I loved it in Battlefield. It was amazing to me.
No, absolutely. Gunmaster as well. Like, they need to put that in from the offset as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, Gunmaster, man. That was my game.
But they have to have the reviving in it as well, so you can revive your teammates. That's absolutely important for
how do
Gunmaster.
you...
Because, like, think about Gunmaster for a second. It's not really team-based at all. Like, if you think about it, you have teammates, but there's no real teamwork there, and Battlefield is all about teamwork, so you got to have, maybe make everyone medics so they can revive each other. That would make a teamwork element to it.
Okay, so how do you think they're going to use... Obviously, I don't think we're going to have defibrillators to be reviving teammates. How do you think that's going to be portrayed in the game?
I do not know. I've heard a couple of things like a morphine shot or something like that along those lines. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way it's going to go. The revive mechanic is essential to Battlefield games, and it will be in the next Battlefield game. It will be in Battlefield 1. There is no doubt in my mind. It's just the way it's going to be implemented. And one thing I do want to see is the self-reviving system from Battlefield Hardline. I want to see the way it was implemented in the first beta. Now, I have that unpopular opinion. People disagree with me on this, but I feel like if you have the skill to kill that player and then he revives himself, if you have enough foresight and enough spectrum to see that he can revive himself, then you'll be able, you know, to turn around and kill him a second time to get that second kill. If you're oblivious and you got that lucky kill and then you run off, then hey, I'm getting revenge on your ass, you know what I'm saying? That's it. So I think the only reason that it wasn't in Battlefield Hardline, where you could revive yourself at any time, was because of the pressure from the community and certain YouTubers, who will not be named, but yeah, man, let's, I think that would be really cool to see.
Alright, so you know how in the teaser trailer they had the man looking up at the big shadow and it turned out to be the Zeppelin in the actual trailer?
Yeah.
How do you think that the Zeppelin is going to be inputted into the game? I'm thinking that I'm sure it's going to be a target, and like if they bring back air superiority, they're going to put the Zeppelin in there for sure, is what I think.
Really? Well, how would that work with the how'd that work with the planes in terms of like how that will work? Would it all just be a bunch of blimps like ramming into each other? Like
yeah, I'm not. You wouldn't be able to fly them. Maybe more like an objective to capture it or shoot it down. Or something like that.
So it moves, and then the planes like have to hover around it to get the objective.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. But in the trailer, the man was looking up at the Zeppelin, and as we know, in air superiority, you're not on the ground rather than in the air. So if it is an air superiority, they're obviously going to put it in as another part of the game as well. So I'm trying to figure out what it could be.
Well, the way I was thinking about it was maybe like the gunship, but instead of, you know, bombs or guns, you have people like standing over it, maybe like snipers or something. Like you could... it depends. I mean, that would be pretty far up, and it'd be pretty hard to get kills like sniping off a Zeppelin, because you'd be so far up.
I can see people trying that. Honestly.
Well, they can try. Good luck to them, man, because you're going to have a hard time. You're like so far up in the air. The other thing, obviously, which I think is the most conventional choice, is that it'll be a spawn beacon that people can just hop out of and parachute down.
Yeah. That's also a pretty good observation. I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah, that's most likely. I mean, that's what makes most sense to me, because the only problem with that, though, is it adds more elevation to a lot of the maps, so people just, like, I'm sure snipers will find many places to camp up on rooftops, and that can be a bit annoying. So I'm not sure how they're gonna balance that. I think when it comes to Battlefield 1, this actually plays into the maps. I think that a lot of the maps will be more flat. There aren't really going to be buildings, are there? It's trench warfare, so...
Yeah.
I think they can draw inspiration from games like Star Wars Battlefront. If you think about Hoth, you know the snow map, it's Hoth, right?
Yeah, Hoth.
Yeah, so Hoth, like, you notice how there's little trenches in Hoth, like in the snow?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's probably going to be very similar to that.
I could see that happening. They're going to take some of the design from what they did in Star Wars and bring it over to Battlefield 1, but with a more of a unique kind of way, 'cause obviously trench warfare back then would be a lot different than trench warfare in Star Wars, you know.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that. I thought it'd be very similar. Hold some similarities there.
You know, yeah, man, you're shooting lasers in World War I.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just casual, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Hitler was just sitting there, pew, 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 pew. I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right, but let's wrap this up. My thoughts overall regarding Battlefield 1 is I'm excited for the game. I think people can tell that. Wasn't excited for Battlefield 4. Wasn't excited for Battlefield Hardline. Let me tell you something. I didn't even know Battlefield Hardline existed, because I I wasn't really around, so I didn't even know it was a thing, and I thought it was a Battlefield 4 DLC. But this looks really good, and I'm actually pretty hyped for it. What are your thoughts, Hunter?
I agree. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. I didn't even buy Hardline. I touched it once at my friend's house, never played it again. But this game, this looks amazing. The graphics still look great for Battlefield.
What platform are you
keeping
picking it up for? What are you getting it for?
Personally, I'll be getting it on the PS4.
Me too. Me too. I don't want to say too much. I will probably get a PC and a PS4 version, but I have a video coming up about that soon, so stay tuned for that. And also subscribe to Hunter's channel. His link will be in the description. Check him out. He does some good stuff. If you enjoy the videos I do, you'll enjoy what he does as well. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead, Hunter. You can do it.
If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and peace.